Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to Cardiff and to St David's Hall. Prynhawn da, croeso I Gaerdydd ar neuadd diwysant. As President of the University, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this graduation ceremony, or congregation as it's more accurately called. And I extend particularly warm greetings to parents and partners and others whose love and support has played a direct part in the success of those who are graduating today. To them, I offer my warm personal congratulations. I rejoice in your success, and I hope you feel confident, as indeed you should, that the qualification that you've earned in Cardiff University is held in high regard, not just in the United Kingdom, but throughout the world. That reputation has obviously been won over many years, and it was recently and very strongly endorsed by the United Kingdom Higher Education Quality Assurance Agency that assesses standards of university teaching. To maintain those attributes, the university continues to invest substantially in learning provision. The £16 million commitment to the new purpose-built premises for the School of Optometry and Vision Sciences and the £3.5 million now dedicated to the innovative high-speed computer network are just two of several instances of that kind of commitment. Such developments also reinforce Cardiff's standing as one of Britain's foremost research-led universities. We are now officially ranked 7th out of 106 institutions in the UK for the quality of our research. And further progress is in prospect because of the historic merger which took place last autumn between Cardiff University and the Welsh National College of Medicine. That marriage has already proved to be fruitful. The university now has the size and the scope of teaching and research to ensure that it is truly a world-class institution of learning. Developments like the £10.8 million investment in the state-of-the-art brain imaging facilities and the £3.4 million for the School of Computer Sciences Bridge Centre are evidence of the way in which our standards of provision and performance are continually advancing. Perhaps the clearest testimony to that sustained vitality is in the fact that whilst the average rise in application for places in universities in the United Kingdom this year was 9%, applications to read for degrees in Cardiff rose by 16%, whilst applications for places in medical schools went up by the UK average. Applications for places in Cardiff's medical school to read medicine went up by 30%. Now, perhaps I suppose I should enter an apology for such patent boasting, but frankly, any apology for boasting that I offered would be somewhat half-hearted. That's because if the president of a university can't demonstrate pride on a day when there is manifestly and objectively so much cause for celebration, I don't know when pride can be voiced. And if I don't voice it on occasions like this, I'd absolutely burst. So I suppose it's a matter of public health and safety that I shower it upon you. In any case, I would plead mitigating modesty, because I haven't even mentioned the prizes, the awards, the distinctions won by the academic staff of this university, or indeed the designated centres of international excellence, or most of all, the academic, sporting and cultural achievements of our students. All those and many other attainments that are worthy of acclaim give manifold proof of prowess, of advancing standards of opportunity, innovation, excellence, and of Cardiff's commitment to attracting people with real ability, people whose talents we can help to nourish, and who will then be able to fulfill themselves and give service to the whole of humanity. And of course, that is the reason for today being one of celebration, and it is the accomplishments of the people who attend here to learn that give the greatest cause for satisfaction. That's what we rejoice in today in this congregation. So on that subject, I draw your attention to the fact that the words and procedures that we'll be using during the ceremony are set out in your programmes under the relevant headline. And as you'll see, the congregation will begin with the reading of the graduation proclamation in English and in Welsh by Ms. Kerry Ellen Morris. That'll be followed by the University Director, Mrs. Louise Casella, who will read the authorisation for the admission of graduates to degrees, and then we'll proceed to admit you to your degree. Graduates will be presented by their head of school, their pro-vice-chancellor or their professor, and admitted to their degrees by the vice-chancellor, Dr. David Grant. Dr. Grant will be accompanied this afternoon during the ceremony by Professor Hayden Ellis, the Provost of the College of Humanities and Sciences, and Professor Ellis will shake hands with all graduates before you leave the stage. After that, Ms. Casella will ask all graduates to stand, and you'll be greeted by myself and by the Acting Warden of the Guild of Graduates, Professor J.D.R. Thomas. In the final part of this congregation, the University will be awarding fellowships to Mr. Steve Morgan for distinguished services to the construction industry, and to Mr. Michael Ruddock for illustrious services to rugby union football, and I must add, inspirational service to the country of Wales. Mr. Morgan and Mr. Ruddock will be introduced by the orator of our university, Professor David Skilton. During the proceedings, I'd be obliged if you would applaud only after the Vice-Chancellor has admitted each group of graduates to their degrees, and not as each one crosses the stage. I know that such restraint can be extremely difficult on an occasion like this, but time constraints and our concern for the welfare of everyone's hands make that restraint necessary. Before I conclude, I have to intone the modern litany. Please turn off all mobile phones. Babies crying or the occasional parent sobbing with joy and relief at the delivery into graduate circumstances of their offspring, that's all entirely natural, welcome, acceptable in a ceremony of this kind. But telephone tones are not welcome, natural or acceptable, so we'd be obliged if you turn off your phones. I thank you very much for your attention, and I hope that everyone thoroughly enjoys the ceremony.
Gorau awen gwirionedd. Bydded hysbys i aelodau'r Brifysgol ac i bawb sydd yn bresennol, y cynhelir heddiw yr 11 o fis Gorffennaf 2005 yn Ninas Caerdydd, gynulliad awdurdodedig Prifysgol Cymru, i dderbyn i'w priodol raddau bersonau da ei gair, sydd, trwy ymfrydiaeth yn y Brifysgol, a thrwy ddisg, medr a dyfalbarhad, wedi teilyngu'r cyfryw raddau yn unol ag ordiniannau'r Brifysgol. Gyda phob gweddi a dymuniad ar iddynt fwynhau iechyd a hir hoedl i wasanaethu ei hoes a'i cenedl dan fendith y nef. Yna, dy oleini a gyfyd mewn tywyllwch, a dywyllwch a fydd fel hanner dydd, a rhai a fyddant ohono ti, a adeiladant yr hen ddiffeith leoedd. Gorau awen gwirionedd. The best inspiration is truth. Be it known to members of the university and to all here present that an authorised congregation of the University of Wales is being held here in the city of Cardiff on the 11th of July 2005 to admit to their appropriate degrees worthy persons who have, through study at the university and through learning, ability and perseverance, been deemed worthy of such degrees in accordance with the ordinances of the university, in the hope that they may be given health and long life to serve their generation and their country under the blessing of heaven. Then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday, and they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places.
Byddid hysbys i aelodau'r Brifysgol ac i bawb sydd yn presennol bod y Brifysgol wedi rhoddi'r awdurdod i Dr David Grant i dderbyn i'w graddau berfyrwyr Prifysgol Caerdydd a enilloedd raddau yn unol â rheolau'r Brifysgol. Gwelir enwau'r rhai a gellir ei derbyn i'w graddau yn y cynulliad hwn yn y rhestrau pryntiedig sydd wedi ei dosbarthu. Let it be known to members of the university and to all who are present that the university has granted authority to Dr David Grant to admit to their degrees students of Cardiff University who have qualified for degrees according to the regulations of the university. The names of those who may be admitted to their degrees in this congregation are to be seen on the printed lists that have been distributed.
Yn rydeddus is gan hechlo, cyflwynodd i ti ddisgyblion o'n prifysgol ni a nichlodd radd beglor mewn pensainiaeth. I, Professor Philip Jones, present for the degree of Bachelor of Architecture, Jonathan Ackroyd, Claire Louise Allman, Temitope Olini Balogun, Edward John Barron, Daniel Mark Benham, Benjamin Bluestone, Michael Se Chun Choi, Robert David Cotton, Christopher John Dennis, Lawrence Arthur Edgell, Rachel Laura Irvin, Edward Thomas Griffith Gabriel, Alistair Mark Gambles, Craig Goddard, Henry John Philip Goss, Paul Franz Grindley, Michael Lewis Gwynn, Neil Anthony Hadrill, Amanda Jane Heal, Hannah Herbert Evans, David Robert Hernon, Sarah Hill, Rebecca Kate Hughes, Munwa Lawyer Jaya, Laura Nashrin Izar, Robin Bruce Jackson.
Nanda, good afternoon. At this point in the ceremony, and at other equivalent times, I will speak in Welsh to admit groups of graduands. Each degree has a formula of admission which, when translated, means, by the authority conferred upon me by the university, I admit you to the degree which I will name, and to all the privileges of that degree. Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn pensaernïaeth ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Lindsay Ruth Jenkins, Matthew Richard Jones, Catherine Louise Knight, Douglas Robert Langwa, Jabin Llaw, Chun Hao Lien, Daniel Jan McIntosh, David Miles, James Brendan Miles, Mohammed Akmal Mohammed Bakari, Oliver Hugh Moore, Gemma Eileen Elizabeth Murphy, Panagiotis Papastratos, Caroline Louise Paradise, Emma Louise Phipps, Luke Robert Gellert Richardson, Emily Ricks, Rachel Elizabeth Sherratt, Henry Michael Smith, Simon Thomas Smith, Jodie Smithson, Robin Idris Thomas, Nong Yu Danin, Samuel John Utting, Eugenia Y.Y. Wang, Claire Sarah Louise Wheeler, Kern Robert Young.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn pensaernïaeth ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Anrydeddus isgan hechlo, cyflwyniad I ti, ddisgyblion o'n prifysgol ni, a enillodd radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth. I, Professor Philip Jones, present for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Tom William Arvold, Nicholas Frederick Arthurol, Alexandros Athanasiadis, Alexander John Bauch, Benjamin John Bosworth, Mark Andrew Broadbridge, Thomas Peter Bull, Jonathan Edward Capek, Hayley Victoria Chandler, Catherine Charlotte V. Charman, Chloe Clark, Philip Rees Darmanin, Rachel Ann Davis, Owen David Francis, Emma Rachel Goss, Molly Gray, Sheena Halley, Tanya Jo Hazelhurst, Philip David Henshaw, Laura Holloway, Samantha Marion Hontiveros, Nicholas Edward Howitt, Robert Andrew Jarrett, Alexander Johnson, Bleddyn Rhys-Jones, Mohammed Aidil Azwan Kamaruddin,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffraniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Bonnie Lillian Kitching, Thomas Patrick Sar Manuel, Ben Martin, Ben Joseph McLean, Alexandra Miller, Joanna Mitchell, Tom Michael Wainwright Morgan, Rowan Parnell, Vasilis Petropanagiottakis, Victoria Mary Ann Ridge, Gareth Joseph Roach, Katie Sarah Robinson, Jonathan Neil Rogers, Marie Claire Scarry, Matthew James Shaw, Camilla Sherv Nielsen, Robert James Stevens, Lorna Mary Taylor, Robert Hugh Thomas, Andrew Tidy, Raymond Brian Verrill, Thomas Andrew Wainwright, Oliver John Riley Wallace, Christopher Francis Wilkins, Matthew Charles Williams, Marianne Zylstra.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffraniau radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Anrhyddeddus Isgangechlor, cyfflwynaf I ti, disgyblion o'n prifysgol ni, a nilchoedd baglo yn y Calpathydau. I, Professor Paul Furlong, present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Elizabeth Ann Hoffman, Michael Richard Peters, Sarah Elizabeth Bayes, Joanne Jones, Nina Louise Prosser, Sarah Lynn Warlow, Benjamin John Bagnall, Robert Howell Bowen, Sophie Mary Davidson, Eleanor Margaret Joy Baker, Leah Christina Bellacomo, Jennifer Lauren Burrows, Matthew Gilbert, Alison Kirsty Gregory, Leanne Michelle Lillywhite, Sean Helen Mattison, Nicholas Pollitt, Danielle Sarah Roshman, Jonathan Aled Letson, Terence Mark Northcutt, Moira Enya Vallely, Emily Cowley, Andrew Davidson, Emma Jane Williams, Laura Ann Airy, Lauren Siobhan Bajdala Brown,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol, a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi, I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau, ac I holl ffrania radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Rebecca Louise Barry, Katie Brunt, Andrew Joseph Collins, Alice Amelia Edge, Asha Charlene Fernandez, Helen Suzanne Jones, Sally Ann Latimer, Rebecca Louisa Lorenzo, Rachel Ann MacArthur, Nicola Jane Marshall, Dominic Richard Nichols, Nikuru Onyechi, Eloise Jane Rabbit, Catherine Helen Roderick, Elena Louise Wadsworth, Jessica Astrid Brown, Lucy Barbara Mills, Amy Joanne Connolly, Gwenno Fleer David, Rhiannon Sian Evans, Helena Jane Marciano, Danielle Maria Reeder, Catherine Emma Turner, Katie Barbara May Sharp, Katie Louise Lyle, Sian Rachel Cook, Lydia Correa Gomes de Barros, Chiara Joanne Di Maio.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol, a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffrenia radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Esther Gillam, Marie Louise Jones, Lucy Jane Kentish, Hayley Elizabeth Morris, Daniela Petruccio, Danielle Regan, Sabina Ali, Alexander Beardsmore, Robert Peter James Flatt, Charlotte Heath Kelly, Alexandra Hendry, Owen Christopher Howell, Melanie Sarah Jenkins, Jack Rees Merrick, Katrina James, Yvonne Perez Lace, Alistair John Farmer, Helen Catherine Amy Lykower, Simon Richard Shepherd, Edward Hudson, Michelle Victoria Kett Robinson, Stephen David Swambo, Sophie Jane Trotter, Louise Emma Anthony, Catherine Jane Broom, Sadie Michelle Hawker, Catherine Major,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffrania radd hon. Congratulations.
Anrhydedus Isgangechlor, cyflwyna fi ti, disgyblion o'n prifysgol ni, a nilth o rad baglo mewn astudiaeth economaeth a chymdeithasol. I, Professor Paul Furlong, present for the degree of Bachelor of Economic and Social Studies, Sarah Bailey. Rebecca Sarah Rose Ferguson, Thomas Anthony Scobie, Eleanor Jessie Allman, Nicola Alexa Claire Betts, Eleanor Francis Bishop, Emma Bossum, Jessica Robin Bow, Owen Mervyn Edwards, Chloe Francesca Hermione Forbes, Paul Hilliman, Paul Alexander Johnston, Christopher Martin, Morgan Francois Minchin, Alberto Ramirez Lantes, Sarah Jane Reed, Victoria Amy Sevier, Rebecca Sinfield, Chloe Alexandra Sinton, Roberta Cicely Snape, Colin Michael John Williams, Masami Yamaguchi, Lee Dale Antrobus, Thomas Carpenter, Kerry Louise Coombs, Alexander James Doyle, Christopher Foster,
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn astudiaethau economaidd a chymdeithasol ac I holl frania rathon. Congratulations.
Nicholas Gale, Simon Paul Gomez, George Joseph Davy Haynes, Andrew David Hale, Sean Philip Hart, Anna Elizabeth Jones, Matthew Allen Jones, Patrick James Llewellyn, James Matthews, Lucy Jane Mereди, Rebecca Jane Millman, Ross George Miller Nichol, Thomas Nolan, Satinda Pabla, David Edward Paul, Gethin Richard Pearson, Alistair Michael Pickering, Olivia Randall, Toan Ravenscroft, Kanaya Singh, Victoria Jane Smythe, Catherine Ann Struthers, Ben Matthew Thomas.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn astudiaethau economaidd a chymdeithasol ac I holl frania rathon. Congratulations.
Liana Sakiris, Olivia Bethan Waters, Emma Lucy Watkins, Michael Woods, James Yoward, Paul Young, Helen Mary Finlayson, Frederick Michael Gay, Timothy James Lang, James Frederick Cole, David Michael Coles, Tessa Dawes, Sarah Louise Holden, Aled John Holt, Michael Jaber, Emma Catherine Jones, Jennifer Elizabeth Marlowe, Charlotte Palmer, Catherine Jane Perrett, Rumana Firdaus Rahman, Michael James Patrick Reed, David Owen Richards, Andrew Thomas Stephen Whitworth, Chlinos Ellery Williams, Michael Benjamin Worthington,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn astudiaethau economaidd a chymdeithasol ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Anrhydeddus is Ganghellor, cyflwynaf I ti, ddisgyblion o'n prifysgol ni, a nillodd radd baglor yn y celfyddydau. I, Professor Jonathan Osman, present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Christopher Thomas Albright, Anthony James Bamber, Jenna Lucy Butler, Stephen Terence Harris, Benedict Vincent Healy, Matthew Roy Hewlett, Alexandra Melia, Jack Selby Mitchell, Eleanor Sellers, Thomas James Shedden, Amy Victoria Withercombe, Martin Philip Barrett, Robert Andrew Blackmore, Lisa Jane Butcher, Shona Catherine Cheeseborough, Hannah Daisy Lee, James Robert Mortimer, Matthew John Piper, Kieran James Pye, Jack Rhys Watkins, Danielle Jane Chapron, Katie Beryl Leach, Alan David Williams, Amy Forster, Jamie Birkin.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Anna Lucy Borovikov, Martin Neil Cooper, Anna Louise Deeks, Angharad Sean Ellis, Alexander Joseph Evans, Alice Rose Evans, Lewis Lloyd Harold Godwin, Richard James Harris, Edward Stephen Jack Hull, Jenna Alexandra Jordan, Arthur Harry Laylow, Samantha Jane Nicholson, Stephen William Porter, Joseph Mark Reeves, Claire Riley, Helen Marie Royal, Andrew Peter Seaman, Francis Marie Taylor, James Alexander Watson, Naomi Louise Woodward, Jessica Ellen Chadwick, Pamela Susan Dent, Josephine Ann Gist, Rebecca Jean Gould, Rebecca Ellen Jones.
Prwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl frania radd hon. Congratulations.
Gemma Michelle Kicaldi, Helen Jennifer Maddox, Rhiannon Morgan, Andrew Francis Pickavance, Caroline Pudney, Annalisa Jane Smith, Patrick John Venn, Jonathan Mark Allport, Julie Alsop, Christopher Luke Andrews, Sarah Jane Angel, Eleanor Bartlett, Lawrence Beach, Mark Richard Bentley, Laura Brown, Ian Berman, Simon David Kane Hardy, Felicity Jane Childs, John Mark Clemenson, Sophie Clue, Michael Oliver Connolly, Matthew Cholton Copp, Sarah Elaine Cox, Connor Crowley, Alan John Davis.
Prwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffraniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Rhiannon Lorraine Davis. Mark Ewan Denham. Thomas Joseph David Dilly. Stephen Dorr. Kate Evans. Sarah Ruth Ford. Tiffany Michelle Gardner. Peter Beckers Geddes. Simon Robert Gibson. Nicholas Paul Goodsell. Louise Claire Gwither. Samuel Charles Hall. Daniel Hockey. Richard Hinchley Price. Catherine Nancy Hodgson. Anne Hilary Wynne Horn. Alexander John Horsington. James Hudson. Alice Mary Hutchings. Catherine Laura Hyde. James Robert Ilbery. Robin George Emerson. Charlotte Kerry MacDonald James. Gareth Maldwin Jenkins. Alice Jones.
Prwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffraniau'r radd hon. Congratulations.
Gary Andrew Jones. Holly Jones. Kevin Jones. Emily Lisa Kelday. Daniel Paul Kennedy. Sarah Alison Kirby. Richard Knight. Elizabeth Megan Lake. Samuel Thomas Pike Learmonth. Natalie Ann Lemming. Alex Peter Thomas Locke. Ruth Lofthouse. Jessica Camilla Lovell. Alice Winona Mannering. Christopher Michael Martin. Jonathan Morby, Joanna Elizabeth Mayland, Matthew Stewart Thomas Moberly, Paul Moore, Adem Bechet Muzaffar, Victoria Openshaw, Joseph Michael Parnis, James Philip William Radford, Philippa Radford Hancock, Praveen Ramdin,
Prwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffraniau radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Jonathan David Reston, Gemma Rawnsley, Natalie Roberts, Oliver Rokos, Simeon Leon Rosatrocas, David Gwyn Rowlands, Sarah Louise Sargent, Leah Connie Scully, Ian Seymour, Jennifer Jane Smith, Peter William Smith, Richard Smith, Celine Alexandra Southall, Rebecca Elizabeth Spur, Mallory Lawson Stanford, Louise Marie Stark, Joanna Steer, Glenn Thomas, Martin Christopher Thomas, Jenna Louise Trotman, Molly Sarah Tyler, Belinda Wade, Sarah Jane Wadey, Edward Stephen Luke Walker, Amy Ward, Sarah Meyer Vasyuk,
Prwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffraniau radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Lucy Rebecca Wellman, Christine Beryl Westwood, Bethany Whiteside, Andrzej Patrick Widelski, Stephen Mark Williams, Stephen Jardine Wilson, Paul John Robert McEwen, Bridget Warren, Hayley Louise Broad, Katie Jane Chin, John Frederick Francis, Manon Ellen Jones, Joseph Allen Newbury, Hannah Elonwy Price, Mandy Viggers, Karen Jennifer Morgan,
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol, a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi, I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau, ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Anrhydeddus is ganghellor, cyflwynaf I ti ddisgyblion o'n prifysgol ni a enillodd radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth. I, Professor Jonathan Osmond, present for the degree of Bachelor of Science, James William Frederick Bailey, Catherine Joy Baker, Rosanna Bird, Martin Stewart Briggs, Rowan Tregillis Burrows, Dawn Adele Carron, Melody Jane Cooper, William Gardner, Jennifer Dawn Hancock, Fiona Morris, Andrew Michael Osmond, Sharon Jean Basson, Nicola Jane Emerson, Rebecca Amy Gilchrist, Heija Ingjerd Holland, Angeliki Kostaki, Karen Murdoch, Shirley Margaret Sinclair, Ioannis Skiadopoulos, Claire Turgus,
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol, a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi, I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth, ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Anrhydeddus is ganghellor, cyflwynir gan yr athro Ken Woodhouse, disgyblion o'n prifysgol ni a enillodd radd athro mewn celfyddydau.
I, Professor Ken Woodhouse, present for the degree of Master of Arts, Max Konzemius. Simon Lloyd Grice. Robert Wolger Riddett. Katrine Lation. Irini Dimitriou. Emir Llewellyn Williams. Louise Ann Thomas. Marion Joy West. Matthew Thomas Williamson. Rose Matthews. Zoe Sarah Carter. Sarah Gwenllian Davis. Sarah Jane Jones. Angharad Sarah Grace Little. Sarah Staunton.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffwrania radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Isgang Hellor, cyflwynir gan yr athro Ken Woodhouse, disgyblion o'n prifysgol ni, a nillodd radd athro mewn astudiaethau economaidd ac ymddeithasol.
I, Professor Ken Woodhouse, present for the degree of Master of Economic and Social Studies. Graham Francis. Ryan Alexander Sullivan.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro yn mewn astudiaethau economaidd a chymdeithasol ac I holl ffrania radd hon. Congratulations.
Andrew Dedys Isgang Hellor, cyflwynir gan yr athro Ken Woodhouse, disgyblion o'n prifysgol ni a nillodd radd athro mewn gwyddoniaeth.
I, Professor Ken Woodhouse, present for the degree of Master of Science, Career Al-Sawad. Amina Batagarawa. Bakhtiar Dua Ismail. Christopher Jones. Rika Kukreja. Nicholas Matokis. Noriko Mibayashi. Fan Yang. Eleni Kalitsansi. Helen Olivia Nicol Merritt. Lydia Chara Pavlopoulou. Konstantina Tsatsuli. Chaobin So.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrenio radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Ganghellio, cyflwynir gan yr athro Ken Woodhouse, disgyblion o'n prifysgol ni a nilloedd rodd doethedd mewn athroniaeth.
I, Professor Ken Woodhouse, present for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Salwa al-Nuami. Robert Hugh Griffiths. Cole Marcel Henley. Graham Arthur Makepeace. Janet Elizabeth Morgan. And Andrew Simon Roberts.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd doethyr mewn athroniaeth ac I holl ffrenio radd hon. Congratulations. Well done.
Andrew Dyddys Ganghellio, cymrydwyodd I ti a rhai y nodoedd yn y rhaglen I dderbyn yn ei hafsenoldeb a'i graddau perthnasol.
I, Professor Ken Woodhouse, present all those who are to receive their degrees in absentia.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf a chrau a nodwyd yn ei habsenoldeb yw graddau perthnasol ac I holl ffrenio graddau hynny.
Awnewch I myfyrwyr sydd wedi derbyn ei graddau y pnawn yma, gyd sefyll I derbyn cyfarchion lywydd y brifysgol a wardenir y graddedigion. Can I invite all you who have been admitted to your degrees this afternoon to stand so that you can receive the greetings of the President of the University and the Warden of the Guild of Graduates. Thank you.
Boed eich gofal yn wastad, drosglwydd ac yn rhydedd ein prifysgol a'n glad. May your care ever be for the success and good name of our university and our country.
Llongyfarchiadau a chroeso I Urdd Graddedigion Prifysgol Cymru.
Before you sit down, I'm sure all you very proud graduates would like to join in a tradition at Cardiff at these ceremonies, and that is to pay a special tribute to your families, your friends, your partners, and indeed to the academic staff who've supported you emotionally, academically, and no doubt financially over many long years to reach this point in your career today. Now it's your opportunity to turn around and find them in the crowd and to greet them and show your appreciation by giving them all a big round of applause and to say a very public thank you. you. You may sit down.
Vice-Chancellor, Mike Ruddock is well known as lead guitarist in a rock band which plays Friday nights in the Swansea area. This is his primary occupation. He's also the Wales national rugby coach who led his side to a Grand Slam victory in the Six Nations Championship for the first time in 27 years, making rugby history. In the process, he showed us more exciting Welsh rugby than we'd seen for years. Mike Ruddock was born in Blaena and educated at Nantaglow Comprehensive School. He played for Wales under-16s, which he captained against England in 1975, for Wales Youth, Blaena, Tredegar, Swansea and Wales B in 1982. He was a back row forward for Swansea in the Welsh Cup in 1983. His coaching experience is unusually varied and significantly not confined to Wales. Blaena, Cross Keys, Bective Rangers, Swansea, Leinster, Ireland A, Ebbw Vale and Gwent Dragons. He also coached emerging Wales and Wales A and was assistant coach for Wales for the 1995 Rugby World Cup. He is, sir, one of the most inspirational Welsh leaders on record, a sort of modern-day Henry V. Now, some may be shocked to hear that English king, quintessentially English, some imagine, named in such a context, but we must remember that Henry V was born in Monmouth and would certainly have played for Wales. With that in mind, we can identify once more Unto the Breach, Dear Friends, as one of the most stirring Welsh half-time pep talks on record. And most scholars now agree that the reference in it to English dead is Shakespeare's coded prediction of the result of the 2005 Six Nations Championship. It is misfortune which has made Mike Ruddock the excellent coach he is. Few coaches have his combination of comparative youth and clear vision and drive with 20 years' experience. And this he owes to a serious accident while working on overhead power lines, which put paid to his promising career as a player at the age of 26. It was then he took to the guitar. At moments of high passion, sir, he merges his two avocations and famously and irresistibly led a hotel band in a rock medley in the early hours after the Six Nations victory over Ireland. Anrhydeddus is ganghellor, clafrwyna fi ti Mike Ruddock fel camrawd Anrhydydd Brifysgol Caerdydd.
Trwy'r awdurdod a roddwyd I mi gan y cyngor derbaniaf di fel cymrawd Anrhydydd Brifysgol Caerdydd.
Vice-Chancellor, President, ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, fellow achievers, thank you very, very much for that warm welcome. I thought beating England was a very good day, a very special day, but I think this one is leaping ahead. My heart is beating faster now, I can tell you, than when Gavin Henson stepped up to kick that memorable kick that suddenly put us ahead 11-9 against England at the Millennium Stadium. So bear with me. There's a few nerves. Today is about recognising all those who have achieved, and I guess in my profession it's called getting a result. And everyone here has got the result they wanted, so congratulations. In my particular case, I'd like to thank President Lord Kinnock, a man of Gwent like myself, for nominating me for this honour, and Dr Grant for bestowing this honour on behalf of Cardiff University. I'm deeply honoured to accept this honorary fellowship and stand alongside all the other high achievers here today. It's really been a dream year for me. At the start of the season, I asked the Welsh players to go out and express themselves, to play some quality rugby, and that's certainly what they did. The Grand Slam, my first season, was very satisfying. However, the players deserve huge recognition for the way they played, and I stand here before you to record my thanks to the Welsh team, the Welsh players, for their magnificent efforts. They filled the nation with great pride. We were Welsh, and we were proud of it. Gareth Thomas, in particular, as team captain, was a real energiser, and Michael Owen, who deputised for Gareth when he got injured, was also superb. I'd also like to record my thanks to my coaching team, Scott Johnson, Clyde Griffiths and Andrew Hall, for the excellent work they did. The great support and encouragement we received from the Welsh public, it carried us to our goal. We're all united, and particularly here in Cardiff for the last game against Ireland. However, it wasn't all great news. My lovely wife Bernadette is Irish, and only last week she started speaking to me again. For me personally, this is a reward for all the hard work and sacrifices that I've made over the last 20 years, since I started my coaching career. And I'd like to dedicate this award to my lovely wife Bernadette, who's here today, and my three gorgeous children, Kieran, who's 16, Reese, who's 14, and Katie, who's 10, who've all supported me throughout that time and encouraged me throughout the inevitable roller coaster ride that is coaching and sport. They've also seen very little of me at weekends. As we've heard a bit earlier, 20 years ago, 1985, I was knocked from a ladder, and the resulting injuries I sustained, fractured skull and some vertebrae that were fractured in my back, meant that my rugby career was over at just 26 years of age. I immediately set new goals to become a top coach, and I've worked tirelessly throughout the last 20 years to achieve that goal. Therefore, I'd like to pass on my best wishes and perhaps some advice, if you wouldn't mind, for the future to all the students who are graduating here today. First of all, once you leave the building, set yourself some challenging goals and aim high. As Steve Jobs of Apple once said, let's make a dent in the universe. Arm yourself with all the appropriate skills that you've done and keep learning. Work hard, persevere, and you'll get there, wherever your dream will take you. In particular, remember that hard work is the key. And Thomas Edison once said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. And in sport, you'll always see examples of hard work. And you'll always see examples of perseverance. In fact, this Welsh team that I'm lucky enough to coach at the moment is a shining example of that. They lost 10 games on the trot before going on to achieve the Grand Slam. They persevered. Kelly Holmes, at the age of 30 plus, won 2 gold medals in the last Olympics after years of relative failure. And perhaps the best example of all is Lance Armstrong, who overcame cancer before going on to win 6 Tour de France championships. Many people have alleged that he has benefited from performance-enhancing substances. However, whenever he was asked what he was on, he said, well, I'm on my bike 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what I'm on. I'm working hard. And also realise that you only have one life. We don't tend to get a second chance. And so whatever you decide to do, always make sure that you have a huge degree of enjoyment. I've got a theory. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, then you have more chance of being successful. And always remember, wherever you are, whatever you do, to follow your dream. And I'd just like to finish by reading you a quick poem. It's written by a dear friend of mine called Peter Fenton, and it's called exactly that, Follow Your Dream. Follow your dream that's deep in your soul. Follow your dream to its ultimate goal. Take up the challenge and strive for success. Triumph is waiting, accept nothing less. Take inspiration from those who achieve. Cast aside those who pull at your sleeve. Ignore disappointment, get up when you fall. The world can be yours, but you must give it your all. The tunnel is long, but you will see the light. Reach out and take what is there in your sight. Put aside that which could get in your way and follow your dream till the end of the day. Thank you all very much.
Vice-Chancellor, we turn from one who bruises the turf to one who is accustomed to turning the first sod. It is well known that the Welsh construction industry is dependent on the national rugby tradition. When house building prospers in Wales, it is because Welsh rugby prospers. Now, of course, it is booming. The reason for this may be a mystery to people living just across the bridge, where the interconnectedness of things is not understood, but to us it's obvious. How can you expect to pass or receive a pile of house bricks unless you're a pair of safe hands with a ball? Steve Morgan, therefore, has every reason to be grateful to Mike Ruddock and hopeful for the future. In return, we expect the gratitude to be returned by Mike Ruddock as, even as we speak, we see future Welsh rugby caps being bred in the homes built by Mr. Morgan. For Steve Morgan was the founder of Redrow plc, one of the United Kingdom's most successful home builders. He set this Flintshire-based business up 30 years ago with a loan of £5,000 from his father. Having built the firm up to its present eminence, he stepped down as chairman in October 2000 after 26 years, remaining the largest individual shareholder. We hope he will soon be in a position to pay back that loan. He is now chairman of Bridgemere Investments Group of Companies and Harrow Estates plc, a non-executive director and major shareholder of De Vere plc. Via his Bridgemere Group of Companies, he's involved in a considerable number of land remediation schemes and housing and commercial property developments throughout UK, Europe and the USA. In 1992, he was awarded the OBE for his services to the construction industry, and in the year 2000 became a Fellow of the Institute of Builders. Anrhydeddus is ganghellor, cyflwyna fi ti Steve Morgan fel cymrawd Eranrydedd Prifysgol Caerdydd.
Prwyr awdurdod a roddwyd I mi, gan y cyngor debaniaf di, fel cymrawd Eranrhydedd, Prifysgol Caerdydd.
President, Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, fellow graduates today. I can't tell you how honoured I am to be stood here in front of you all at Cardiff University. I'm extremely proud to be vested this honour of honorary fellowship by the university. Just like Mike, I would like to say to you all, the graduates on your way today, that it is truly hard work that's got you so far, that's got you, earned you your degrees, but will also take you forward in life. I didn't start with a university degree, believe it or not. I started digging sewers in North Wales. You've got a better start than I have, I can tell you. But it's not where you start in life, it's where you finish. And I also agree with what Mike said, it's enjoying yourself on the way. I'm sure all of you will set off on your well-earned summer vacation. Some of you probably travelling around the world, others maybe going straight to work. But wherever you end up, you will get more out of your life by working hard, and you will get out of it. You will sow what you reap. Say that again. You will reap what you sow, and that is the hard work will take you there. But I also would agree with Mike, and that is that enjoy yourself on the way. Whatever your chosen career, please enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, change it. The one piece of advice I would give you in over and above working hard is also be careful what you say. There was a Cardiff graduate who left last year, who will remain nameless, who started work for a large FTSE company. And on his first day, he was a little bit full of himself. On his first day, he picked up the phone, thinking he was phoning the canteen, and said, "Get me a coffee, please." And the voice on the other end of the phone said, "Do you know who you're talking to? It's the chief executive here." To which the graduate replied, "And do you know who you're talking to?" The chief executive said, "No." He said, "That's good. Put the phone down." But you do have to be careful what you say. That a true story. When Redrow floated in 1994, part of the process is very much to build the company up. And you do this through lots of media interviews, television, newspaper, etc. One particular day, I was interviewed by the business editor of the Times newspaper. And this took place in Lincoln Inn Fields in London. And it happened to be March. Of course, the daffodils were all out. At the end of the interview, which went absolutely fine, I was telling him just how good a place Wales is to start a business, and how proud we were as one of the largest companies in Wales to be floating on the London Stock Exchange. At the end of the interview, he said to me, "Would you like to go outside and have your photograph taken?" Now, I was with my colleague, Paul Pedley, who was then the finance director. We went out with the photographer, and the photographer said, "Well, I'd like to photograph you standing in the daffodils." To which I was quite reluctant, because Lincoln Inn Fields, if you know it, is full of beautiful architecture. I said, "We're house builders. I'd much rather be stood in front of a very nice old building." He said, "No, I really want you to go out into the daffodils." So off we went into the daffodils, very reluctantly, and my parting comment was, "I don't really want to do this, because we're only a couple of hairy-arse builders." Can you imagine my horror the next day when I opened the business section of the Times, and the headline was, "Welsh hairy-arse builders set to float on the London Stock Exchange." I died a death. I'm sure you will, having heard that story, you will not make the same mistake. Once again, may I wish you all very, very good luck in your careers, and thank you once again to the university for this wonderful honour here today. Thank you very much.
As President of the University, it's now my duty to draw these proceedings to a close. This occasion, the graduation ceremony, is naturally one of the most pleasurable in the university calendar. Indeed, it's one of the most pleasurable experiences in life, whether as a graduate or even more so as a parent. And it's a joy to see the pride and the relief of each graduate as they cross this platform. Pride and relief certainly at their accomplishments, at the fact that one chapter has closed and there's a sense of a new chapter in their lives opening. Relief too at the fact that they managed to navigate all the way across this platform without actually falling over, despite the unusual headgear and despite some very exotic footwear. I must say, I'd like to add congratulations not just on your academic achievement, but on your immense gymnastic capacity. I speak, of course, of the women graduates in managing to get across there in some of the footwear that I witnessed this afternoon. It's a constant source of magical fascination, so far as I'm concerned. So I'm just saying that to demonstrate that the President of the University doesn't necessarily move into a postprandial coma during the course of afternoon graduation ceremonies. What I do wish everyone who's graduated today is that the years that they've spent in Cardiff hold for them happy memories. I also wish that they will feel that the years spent here and the success that they've achieved will have made a real contribution to their own development and to the richness of the rest of their lives. And most of all, I hope that on the basis of the qualification that you've earned today, that you feel that you can maximize your potential in every sphere, and that you want to use that potential for your own fulfillment and for the benefit of the whole of humankind. I wish you every success. I wish you good fortune. I wish you good health throughout your future. Llongyfarchiadau, congratulations, diolch yn fawr iawn.